So how do YouTubers make their money? 6 months ago, Colin and Samir were on the verge of quitting their YouTube channel altogether, and now they're making over hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue each year. So how do they really make their money? Welcome back to the Digital Dive. Let's go back to our conversation with them and see exactly how they do make their money.
We'd been working on this Samsung partnership for a long time, but it was about 2 years from starting the Samsung conversation to inking the deal.
Yeah.
So in that time, it felt very much like in December of last year that there was no chance that that deal was going to come through because it had already been, almost 2 years or a year and a half. And then it just happened all of a sudden in January where it was like, they have unpacked. We've been wanting to work together for almost 2 years. And again, the fact that we were still creating, we were still out there on the platform, and that time in market really helped. That in January we were credible enough for them to give us that opportunity and say, "Come up on stage, announce the S20 Ultra, and let's explore a long-term partnership with you."
And what does a deal like that look like? Because I've worked with Samsung a lot on licensing content and kind of one-off things because our situations are a little different. Since I'm a reviewer, I can't have like a year-long partnership with a brand I review. But I've worked with them on like producing some commercials and things like that. What does a year-long partnership look like? Is it like a certain amount of content you have to make for them? Is it public appearances and using your likeness? Like, how does a kind of deal like that break down?
Yeah, you really nailed it.
It sounds like you know.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's a lot. Honestly, it's kind of a lot like an athlete endorsement, really. Where like first and foremost, we're ambassadors and supporters of the brand.
Okay.
And then when it comes down to it, initially there were a lot of events that we were going to be at to act as ambassadors, to be on panels, to be creating content at the events. But of course, like the world totally changed. And along with events, we also had like a full slate of content of different types, different platforms to make throughout the year. So really what's happened is like, content kind of has increased and the events have decreased with everything that's happened.
So we get access to all the devices. Like right now we have this the Note 20 Ultra,
Pretty sick.
which
Oh my
is
God,
awesome.
beautiful.
It's super cool. We get access to the devices. We make content with them. Some of the content lives on their platforms. Some of the content lives on our platforms.
Yeah.
And then we also get to, because this year has shifted so much and events are no longer a part of the conversation, we've gotten to pitch out new ideas. And one of those ideas is an interview show called Self-Taught, which we will be hosting on our channel.
I saw that. That's so sick.
Yeah, it's super cool, where we get to interview other members of Team Galaxy, which are, the other people who have the same deal as us.
Yeah.
And so
many of them, yeah.
episode 1's with Jake Roper from Vsauce, which is like so incredible.
He's awesome.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it's like, and so we get to do what we love, but it's supported by them. And that is what makes a really good brand partnership, is when they're authentically supporting your ideas and your creativity and being flexible with, this year has changed, but we have to lean in as ambassadors and creators and say, let's come up with some new ideas of how we can, bring to life this team that we're a part of, Team Galaxy, how we can really showcase how awesome these devices are and how we can do that on our platform in an authentic way that our audience is excited about.
Yeah, I mean, so I think it's so interesting. A lot of the people that used to work at Samsung worked at 368 or still work at 368. That's actually how I kind of got invited to 368 the first time, because I'd worked with Kelsey on some licensing stuff.
Yep.
And a lot of the people on Team Galaxy are at 368 a lot of the time. So it's kind of like its own like community. I feel like Samsung is one of the few brands that really is like ingrained in the creative community in a way that a bunch of other like smartphone brands just aren't yet. And I think there's a huge opportunity there. And you also have a deal with Storybox, right? Was that another year-long partnership?
It is. Yes, it's a year-long partnership. That came to life a long time ago. Maybe like they were one of the earliest supporters of our brand.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Like maybe 4 years ago at this point.
Oh, wow.
4 years. Not when the partnership took effect, but I think it was around 4 years ago. We were making a video for Gatorade as part of our first project, and we pitched an idea to Gatorade, and in the pitch there was we pitched it in a video version. We used a clip of a jet plane and a clip of a cheetah, and they saw the pitch.
Okay.
It was like a sample of what we were going to make for them, and they really liked it. And then they were like, that should be part of the video. So we had this like 90-second sample that we sent as part of a pitch, and they were like, all right, good to go. Like, we want that in the overall piece. And we were like, man, okay, well, we just took that clip of the cheetah and of the jet plane off the internet. We can't put that into a branded piece of content for Gatorade. So I had actually a friend who I knew worked in content libraries and actually happened to work at Storyblocks, but I wasn't necessarily aware of Storyblocks at the time. And he ended up telling me, he was like, here you go. You can license this clip here, these 2 clips that are different, but pretty much like totally, like they worked perfectly for what we needed. And that was the beginning of working with Storyblocks.